And we're live.
Oh my God, we're live. Hi, BBs.
Hi, BBs.
What is up? This is the Baltimore Bitches podcast. We have our self-proclaimed pop culture connoisseur and an amateur comedian coming right at you.
We're here 7 days a week, but not really.
I wish I could.
One day a
I
week.
wish I could edit 7 days a week, and maybe we could get some fucking shit done.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been late on a lot. But I think we're getting back on track. Yes. As you can see, I got some rest. My nails are done.
Yes.
My fucking makeup is done. I blew out my hair. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
We also have, she will not be on camera, but we do have,
you know, it's on camera, that piece of lint.
Yeah. We do have a very special guest with us today. It is our lawyer. She shall remain anonymous, but if you know, you know.
Do you want to change your voice? Like, hello.
I can't do that. So say no.
That is our lawyer. She's actually a fucking demon.
Actually, you know what? I've heard some jokes about lawyers and they really don't have a soul. So that
oh my God, fitting. That's beautiful.
Do you have a lawyer joke for us? I have one.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
It was like something about like 6 feet under.
That
Okay, I'm not the comedian.
Okay, I thought you literally said you had a joke and then you didn't tell it.
Because I don't know it. I've heard it before, but I don't.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. I was like getting kind of amped.
I can't. I got it. We're gonna cut all that.
That's all the explanation we needed.
There is a joke, and I don't know what it was, but I think it's from like Better Call Saul, and it was really funny.
How is that? Do you like that show?
I liked it. I feel like it kind of dragged on for a little too long.
Okay. But like I need to rewatch Breaking Bad. And then I think I want to watch Better Call Saul.
I think that there are other shows out there that you should watch.
What? Don't say Game of Thrones. I'm not watching that. Oh.
Okay, well you should. Severance?
I need to yes. Yeah, okay.
White Lotus? The Last of Us?
I have don't even play. I don't even play because you know I love the zombie apocalypse movie.
Yeah.
Or show. I have watched that one. I do need to watch Severance.
It's so good.
Severance, I heard is so good. I need to. I watched the first season. I don't know why I started over. Like it's a reality. Like it's a reality show. You don't need to start from the beginning. Have you watched Traitors? Oh, you found it.
Oh, our lawyer has a joke.
Okay, I found the joke. It's not my joke because that would be really self-deprecating, and I don't like it. Why do they bury lawyers under 20 feet of dirt?
Why?
Because deep down, they're really good people.
Yes. That was along the lines. Yeah.
One. Everyone laugh. I like this one too. How many lawyers does it take to change a light bulb? 3. 1 to climb the ladder, 1 to shake it, and 1 to sue the ladder company.
Oh, okay, that's good. I think that one's my favorite. That's perfect. Clapping.
Clap. So we listened to you. We're going to have a story time today, I think. Mm-hmm. We are going to be talking about Love is Blind.
There's like 3 episodes.
It's like
9 through 9 to 12. It's shocking to me that we still have 2 more episodes that need to be released, but here we are.
I think at this point, I'm just like, wrap it the fuck up. I mean, good for them that they're so boring. They must be actually happy, is my, like, definitely Daniel and Taylor is happy. I think Devin and Virginia.
Yeah.
Literally, they came on screen and you're like, it was the biggest yawn. Me and Charles were like,
I'm sorry, they're so boring.
It really is so boring. I think okay, I'm going to say it now. They better not make liars of us. Like
Virginia and Ben and Sarah. I don't think they are. I was telling our lawyer in the car, I don't think they are because at the end of the episode, okay, let's talk about Ben and Sarah.
Okay.
And then we'll just go from there. So,
or do you want to start? Sorry to cut you off. Do you want to just do like a brief like overview and then like our thoughts of the 9 through 12 episodes? I mean, nothing really happens. They have that get together. They do. Pedophile Alex comes back. All those out. That is just alleged that he's a pedophile. Madison's bitter. Mason comes back with Meg.
Yep.
They get together, and Kaleigh's staring at me like the time. She's like, because
I felt like that was supposed to be good tea, and I have this in my long stream of consciousness notes here. I felt like that was supposed to be good tea, but I said I literally could not care less.
It was iced tea.
It was boring. But the way that me and her are the same exact person, I'm never talking to that man again. I'm never texting him. Anyway, how's Mason?
She's like,
my
oh my
how are
God.
you? And then Kaleigh the whole time was just looking at me. And
I said, how's that? I said, how's that mirror looking?
Wow. How's the mirrors?
And Caitlin's like,
well, that's not for me because I can't read.
yeah. Yeah, I think the meetup was fine.
Nothing really happened. It was pretty anticlimactic. Like,
the only thing is, and I wanted to talk about another couple first before this one. Okay. So we can just start with them.
Okay.
And then, because it goes into this like meetup situation. So it's specifically for Dave and Laura. First of all,
I forgot about them already.
Dave continues to be the worst human being that has ever existed. I don't care about the drama around Alex. I don't care about the drama around Ben. Dave is insufferable, and I cannot say that enough. The way that he talks to Lauren, the way that he talks about, like, it's so, to me, it feels so like hypocritical and condescending, and I just feel that he's just not a good person, and I feel like he just says stuff to say it to like get through the conversation, or to like, I don't even know, but basically they break up.
Yeah.
Which felt like he didn't want to explicitly say it, because for the life of him, he cannot commit to that decision. Same thing in the pods.
Any decision.
No, same thing in the pods with Molly. Like, Molly was like,
yeah,
are you breaking, like, and he was like, oh yeah, like, well, that's what I said. And she was like, well, you didn't, but okay.
Yeah. Like, well, okay, we're just going to go with that then. Bye.
Yeah. So him and Lauren are having a conversation at bowling, and he still continues to refuse to let her meet his family and his sister for whatever, well, not for whatever reason, but because of the whole, like, she hooked up with someone a couple of weeks before. Get over it, move on. It's giving insecure.
I was so sick of that same argument. It's like, Lauren, he's choosing to listen to his friends over his fiance. Like, that's your answer?
Mm-hmm.
I just, like, I don't know. I was just like so sick of it. I'm like, he's not gonna let up. You're 2 weeks out from your marriage.
Yeah.
You're not meeting his sister, who I don't think is even real at this point.
Oh no, she's real.
On Instagram.
We found her.
Oh,
yeah.
We found her.
Yeah.
We found her. This just in, we found her.
But what was killing me was, because Lauren brought this up too. She was like, my dad didn't want to be on the show, and he met you off camera. Like, if your parents or your family like don't want to be a part of the show, that's fine. But in order for us to have this relationship and for us to move forward, it is important that I meet your family.
Well, and here's my thing. He said that he was defending her to his family. He said that multiple times, but there is absolutely no way in hell he was defending her. Like, not a chance. I'm sorry. But
no.
His actions do not show that he was defending her.
No.
He can't commit to anything other than his love for his sister, and I said what I said.
I think, I know you don't know Minnesota law. Is it illegal to date a sibling, marry a sibling, have incestual relations with a sibling in Minnesota law that you can recall?
I'm going to go with probably. Incest is like generally pretty taboo across the board. Does Minnesota have an explicit law stating that? I could probably find that answer in just a couple of minutes.
Okay. All right. So we're going to get back to you on that. Just honestly for Dave's sake, because
Dave needs to know.
Like, he does. And I understand your mother died. Your sister kind of took on this like motherly role, but you know, all jokes aside, with the incestual relationship, like,
it's too far.
You're just making up an excuse. You don't want to be with Lauren fucking say that.
Yeah. And also, if you do plan on watching the season and you've not watched already, a fun game for you. Drink every time that Dave brings up his sister, please.
No, but literally.
You might be blacked out. Oh, we have an update on the law.
We have an update. Pursuant to section 609.365 of the Minnesota state statutes, whoever has sexual intercourse with another nearer of kin to the actor than first cousin computed by the rules of civil law, whether of the half or the whole blood, with knowledge of the relationship, is guilty of incest and may be sentenced to imprisonment for no more than 10 years. So, Dave,
so sorry.
in Minnesota, but don't do it.
Let me tell ya, don't do it.
I think you could even defend that case. I don't like it. It's right there. It's right there.
Would not take that case with a 9.5-foot pole.
Okay. So anyway, when they break up, blah, 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 whatever. It's annoying. They go to their little meetup with the ski thing. Okay, bye, lawyer. With the ski thing, and Molly is there, and Molly is just grilling the fuck out of Dave. I am obsessed with her. I am living for her.
Yes.
I was like, Molly, get him.
And also, like, I love it when, like, Lauren and Molly get together, because the way, like,
they were shitting on him
Molly,
so hard.
I know. I love it when women.
Yes.
She was like, I'm so sorry it didn't work out. Did you see his selfies? You deserve so much better. And they just fucking went on. I was like, I love when women win.
I know. Well, she's like, I got out of the pods and I looked at his Instagram and I was like, no, I'm good.
No, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. So Molly's the goat. They were like shitting on Dave because Dave is Dave.
Yeah.
And you know what pissed me off is when they broke up and he wanted to like talk to her again. He was obviously intoxicated. He looked intoxicated.
Oh, he was wasted.
Yeah.
He was so drunk.
I was like, oh my God.
He said something and then totally changed what he was saying. Like he did not stand beside what he was saying again because she like called him out on it. I don't remember what it was specifically.
He apologized for like how he was acting, and he was just like, I just wanted to text you and like see how you're doing. And he's like, well, you could have texted me. And it's like, you just fucked it up all over again. Like, you could have left things, like, on a good note, and then he just went right back to, like, placing blame on her and, like, negging her.
And she was like, she explained it to him, and he was like, oh, you're right. Like, you know, I totally get that. And, you know, I should have texted you. I'm like, oh my God, Dave.
It's like, in my head, it's like, he went on this one trajectory of, like, apologizing, and then he was like, well, it's like he wasn't getting the response he wanted, so he switched it to like just putting the blame on her, and then he was like, oh, that didn't work, and then like switched back. It's like
what? You're apologizing? Why are you blaming her?
My God. He just needs to
date his sister
and just go to therapy and just
he cannot date his sister
legally.
10 years in prison, I do him good.
Honestly, 10 years would be good for him.
Yeah, actually, what did we say? We go back to this every time. What did we say? The very first episode. Men should start in jail and earn their way
out. Except Luigi. He should not have to work his way out. He should be out.
Him and his cute little loafers and his threaded eyebrows.
I know. We're still living for Luigi. We see updates about him all the time. I sent Caitlin one the other day because I guess he's getting too many photos. In prison, they were like, hey guys, he was like, his lawyer was like, Luigi respectfully asks you guys to kindly only send him 5 photos at a time. Like
he's probably getting bombarded with nudes, and those were like my only way in.
Yeah. And he's like, imagine getting too many nudes. And
you simply just feel so overwhelmed with all the boobs.
He's like, I cannot anymore. Yeah. So anyway,
that's Love Is Blind. I'm really bored with it. I think the only thing that was, in my opinion, to note was like Dave. Yeah,
it was just like the whole Dave situation. I think Ben and Sarah, I think that's what I wanted to talk about is just Ben and Sarah really quick, because I know that we had a lot to say about Ben before, and it is still shocking that we haven't seen a whole lot. And I think that we might get more of that on the reunion would be my guess.
Yeah.
But the way that it's edited and what we have seen on the last episode, I feel like for me, they were for sure gonna, like, it looked like they were gonna say yes. And I do think it's a no. And we know, allegedly rumored, that it's her that says no.
Well, then it was like those 2 gals. To be honest, I don't know who they are. I'm guessing it's her mom. They were just saying like she feels like she has to say yes.
Oh, her sister and then her sister's partner.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like Sarah.
Is that her mom?
Her mom was there. Okay. But I feel that...
I was watching on my phone. I couldn't see.
Yeah, I feel that her family really, really talked her out of it. And I think that Sarah did genuinely, or does genuinely, like Ben, want to be with Ben, want to potentially get married to Ben, at least at this point from what we can see. And her family was just like, do what feels right for you. Yeah. Like, you do you. And that's, Charles was like, that's the politest way to say, don't marry him.
Marry him. And I just think fundamentally, like, their values just don't align.
They don't align. They don't align.
So
align.
They don't align.
They don't
align.
Yeah, they don't align.
Yeah. So I think they saw that, or they just don't like agree with where he stands. I feel like he's just like more conservative, and then didn't really people are talking about like how online he didn't really have a stance. I feel like there's this rhetoric in this season of men just saying like, oh, I just kind of like stay out of politics. And like, that's a whole other conversation for a whole other like podcast. But I think with him just, you know, being religious, going to church, being conservative, I just feel like her family knows her better maybe than she knows herself. She seems like she's very tight with them. Yeah. And they just see that it's just fundamentally will not.
I agree.
Work out.
Yeah.
Also, allegedly, he might be a total dick. He might be a total dickhead. Maybe
he is a Libra man, and I'm sorry. The Libra is girly. It's girly coded.
It is.
If you're a boy Libra, I'm sorry. And I have a friend that's a boy Libra. I don't know if he listens to this. You know who you are. Shout out to our days at the Bucks. Love you, but
the Bucks.
You were one of those Libra men, and you know it.
Talking to you.
I'm talking right to you.
Fuck you are.
He lives in Ohio now. Like, why would you move to Ohio? Yeah, he lives in Skibidi.
That's just
a Libra man in Skibidi.
That's a Libra man thing. Moving to the Midwest.
He's from the Midwest, so he was born and raised there. That's probably why he's like.
That's probably why he went back.
Yeah, he was like, I've got to go home.
I thought he was like went off. He was like, you know what? I'm going to Skibidi.
Fuck it, Skibidi. I'm going. Florida's not crazy enough for me anymore. I've got to get out.
I gotta go back to Ohio. Ohio needs a new PR team.
Oh, someone please.
Someone help them. Skibidi toilet.
Yeah.
That's diabolical. Yeah. To call a whole state that. Skibidi I don't know.
Toilet.
Maybe you should be their PR. You were PRing it up a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
Can you tell we're bored with the season? We're talking about fucking Skibidi. I think we talked about that for 5 minutes.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it more when the final episodes come out and we get the reunion. But until then, I mean, we've said it before, we'll say it again. It's bland, it's boring, it's flower coated, it's
like, oh, give us nothing. So.
Charles keeps getting everyone confused. And I'm like, well, to be fair, they do all look the same. They are all pretty much the same.
And like, you know what? If it's boring because they're all happy, good for them.
But they're not. That was my issue. I was so sick the amount of time that Dave and Laura were on my screen. Show me Daniel and Taylor.
At this point, that's why I'm watching.
I want to see them.
I'm watching.
They are the reason why Love is Blind. Show me them. Stop showing me freaking Ben, Sarah, and Skibidi. Like, I'm done with it.
Fucking Dave with his man tits and that awful gray knitted shirt. I hate him. Okay.
Him and his sister. Anyway. All right. We're done. We're moving on.
Anyway, we're moving on. We're giving you what you asked for. I will give you... I'm sorry, BBs. I don't like The Bachelor. I can't watch The Bachelor.
I have one thing to say about The Bachelor.
Okay.
I've never watched it. Personally, I'm so sorry. I know this is going to offend people. I think every reality show is like a little stupid. I think The Bachelor is the worst concept of a show that I have ever seen in my entire life. 25, you want me to date 25 people?
Okay. Last The Bachelor season was Joey and Joey was the Bachelor, and then he ended up with Kelsey. And I thought that his season was really good. Like, I watched The Bachelor growing up and then stopped for many, many years. And then, like, his season got me back into it. I literally could not care less about The Bachelorette this past year. Boring. And then the Golden Bachelor and Bachelorette, that's just entertainment.
It's spicy.
I don't
It's
care
different.
what you say. Like the Golden Bachelor, Bachelorette, like you can crap on the Bachelor franchise all you want, but the Golden one, it is just so precious. I love old people, so
Yeah.
thing, but,
I'm happy they're getting some attention.
But like this season of The Bachelor, it ain't it.
Yeah.
Like you strike gold once in that franchise, and like that's Joey and Kelsey, and if they ever break up, that's gonna be a problem. But there's nothing to talk about on that this season. It's not notable. No notes.
The only thing I have to say about The Bachelor and Bachelorette that I know of is the people that have come from that series to the Traitors. So Pilot Peter, and then Gabby. Gabby is iconic.
This is it.
It's after 3 p.m. I'm lethargic.
You said that yesterday, but you weren't serious. She was like, "Can we record tomorrow? I'm lethargic." I'm like, "Sure, babe. Any reason to rot, honestly." But I was like, "Lethargic? You okay? Laugh all you want."
I'm obsessed with her. She is so funny.
No, but this is I think is like more people are watching it.
Yes.
People, let us know if you want. No, if you want to hear more, we're gonna have our secret special guest back on. If you want to hear more Bachelor stuff, that was very Bachelor core, and I think people did ask for that. But
they
anyway,
did, and I said,
Traitors is the shit. Yeah, no, I'm like,
you want to watch 28 seasons? There's probably like 1,000. I don't know,
honestly, and I feel like at some point, correct me if I'm wrong, they're like kind of intertwined because then you have Bachelor in Paradise, and then people get together on that. And I've watched like some seasons, of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I just didn't really, it just didn't get me. It's like every episode is 2 hours long. Honestly, it might be good to like have it on in the background, do my laundry. I don't think I'd miss a goddamn thing.
That's what I do. Like, I still am watching this season because I started it and I just wanted it to be as good as last year. And now I just have it up in the background Monday nights when I'm doing literally anything else, working, doing laundry, cleaning, what have you.
Yeah.
I feel like background noise. I feel like that's how you have to watch it. They don't. I don't think they edit. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, contestants on the Traitors. Traitors is the shit.
Yeah, love it.
You love a deception game.
I do love a deception game. But yeah, Kari turned me on to it because it has a lot of people from other shows that we watch. So Big Brother, Survivor, Amazing Race. They had someone from like Dancing with the Stars. They had some like normies on there too, which I don't think that was like the first season they had some normies, and then they made it to the end and they did not win. So I think they were like, let's cut them.
Wait, are you talking about first season?
I starting about the first
and they
season.
Had the normies.
Yeah. And since then, like season 2 and season 3, they don't have like, they're people that are known or that have like some sort of status at something. They're not just regular Joe Schmoes off the street. Like we could not be on the Traitors.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
We are not Joe Schmoes. We are the Baltimore.
Oh, actually, yes, we do have status, so we could be on. You're right.
Yeah.
Alan Cummings, come on, we want to be on the show.
And I want you to know, again, we are in 6 different countries, 0.1% of listeners in all 6.
Yeah.
Including America.
Period.
Including
America. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Anyway, so I think we wanted to do a story time. I told Caitlin that she's going to tell a story. I didn't give her what story because that's for her to decide. But I did say, I don't really have that many good stories. I mean, I do, but you don't know anyone and no one knows. I mean, I guess I could, but
you could totally tell a story.
Yeah.
We all know the story that people want to hear, but it's a different time, different place.
Different time, different place. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll come. Just we need to process.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you.
Oh, am I going first?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. So again, we listened and we saw that a lot of people wanted story time.
Oh my God. It was a lot.
The majority of the people wanted story times.
Yeah.
So the only one that comes to mind, I don't think you've heard of it yet. So I went on a date with a coworker who I find out is a New York City cab driver because Jesus Christ. Okay, so I meet this man, and I thought he was pretty sweet, and like in my line of work, he let's just say he's like on a contract. So he's like in and out. Okay. So I'm like, really, I'm not going to be seeing him every day. So I think this is safe. We can go on this date.
Yeah. The attachment is low.
Yeah, like, and it's not like if it doesn't work out, then you have to still see him.
You're still loose.
Right. The strings are loose. Semi-attached, but not really, because he'll be gone soon, right?
Yeah.
So we decided on coffee at like 5 o'clock.
Cute.
Go to like one of my favorite coffee spots, not Magosi's. Love you though.
Which coffee shop?
Patangas.
Oh, in Fells.
Yeah. And so anyway, so we set up a date. We set up for 5.
Okay.
I get there. I Uber. I don't feel like dealing with parking.
Yes.
I'm a princess. And I think it was like Friday, so it was going to start getting busy. And,
yeah.
So get there. I'm like, hey, where are you? And he lives where I live now, like kind of downtown area. And he's like, oh, like, sorry, I haven't left yet.
Oh, it's a little story.
Yeah. So
it's 5 o'clock. You haven't left?
Right. He's like, I'm coming. And then, so I'm guessing it will take like 15 minutes to get from point A to point B. I just go ahead and I get my coffee, and I'm kind of deciding at this point, because time is going by, whether to just like dip or like stay. And I'm sipping my coffee and I'm like, oh, okay, he should be here by now. I text him. He's like still on the way. He's like, there's so much traffic.
Yeah. It's Friday.
Fucking rush hour, you fucking idiot from hell. That is not my word. That's from Celebrity Memoir Book Club. But it's my favorite saying of all time. You fucking idiot from hell. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like trying to chug my coffee. And I'm like, hey, like, let's do another day. Just trying to like, he's like, no, I'm on the way. I have like a surprise for you. I was like, okay. Like, and I'm just like, I need to like get an Uber, wait for an Uber, and I'm still like drinking my coffee. So I just stick around.
Yeah.
He finally gets there. He's 30 minutes late. I'll have to post this on the Instagram page because I don't know what the fuck kind of hat this is. He's wearing that stupid fucking hat. Think of a taxi driver. If they were to wear a hat, what would they wear? That's the hat he's wearing. I know you know what you know. What is it called?
It's a newsboy?
Newsboy hat.
Yeah.
He's wearing one of those.
God.
Mind you, he's not balding or anything. He has thick brown, like luscious hair. That hat, yes, the hat pisses me off. Get it out of here.
I don't even want to look at it.
It pissed me off before he wore it. It pissed me off after he wore it. So he comes in. And mind you, we're at a coffee shop. I'm wearing jeans. I'm wearing like a flannel and a cute little like tank top, right? Because it's chilly out. It's not cold, but it's chilly. And we're like, I thought we were going to sit in the coffee shop. That is what I wore.
Yep.
He not only is wearing a hat, he is wearing a 3-piece suit wrinkled to the goddamn gills.
It is trying to look nice for you.
What?
Who wears a suit on a date? I mean, no.
Ill-fitting, wrinkly dinkly at it looked like a fucking prune. That's how wrinkled it was.
Out of like a garbage bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Silence. Let it soak in. Do you get the vibe yet,
like,
you guys?
I understand trying to like dress up and like look nice, but
no, there's no point if you're gonna.
First of all, if you're just going to a little coffee date, we can be cute and casual. That's what it is.
We're getting coffee, and literally, it's just so wrinkled. I was like, what is the meaning of all of this?
Maybe that's what he's like. He's trying to iron it, and he's ran out of time.
Wear jeans, you fucking weirdo. You're big creep. You're a big fat creep.
You're a big fat dump. You're a big fat wrinkly dummy.
Okay, I know this sounds fucked up, but literally, I don't give a fuck if this person ever hears what I'm saying ever again. He was like, he walked in and I was embarrassed.
Oh.
I was like embarrassed. I was like, I can't believe it has come to this.
And now I have to sit next to you.
And not only that, yes, ma'am.
Question. What did this fellow wear to work? What was his normal attire?
Scrubs. Okay, carry on.
Have you ever seen him in anything outside of scrubs before this?
No.
So this is maybe what he wears.
That is my worst fear. Oh. Next question. Anyway. You're in tears. Jesus Christ. How old is he? like aesthetically or for real? Because aesthetically he looks fucking 89. And he looks like he should be in assisted living. I'm sorry. I know I'm going the fuck in on this man, but like it pisses me off.
Did he have a life alert? How old is he? The lawyer.
Our lawyer took off her hat. She's fanning herself.
Our lawyer
and she's in tears.
How old was he?
Oh my god, are you okay? I need to know how old he is, please.
So we're back. We have collected our breath. Our lawyer has stopped crying.
You needed a rice cake.
I needed a rice cake.
The need for a rice cake was imminent.
It was.
You were crying. You were dry heaving. I was like, I gotta answer this phone call. You're like, I need a rice cake.
I need a rice cake. Caitlin's like, can you all shut the fuck up? I've got to get this Prosecco.
So cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers. I love how your hand's just going to be on the camera.
That's so funny.
Amazing. All right. So
we need to know how old.
To be honest, I'm not sure how old. I want to say he was in his 30s. So you were asking about Life Alert.
Oh, yes. Did he have one with him?
No, but he brought his dog, who is fucking well over 100 pounds. He is fucking huge.
So he brought a third wheel.
100%. That dog, no exaggeration, not hyperbolic, was bigger than me.
Wow.
Very nice. And I'm a dog person. I love dogs.
A very nice dog. Very kind dog.
Very demure. The
Very
dog was
demure
very
dog.
demure. Very well behaved. It wasn't that. It was the fact that 30 minutes late, you brought your dog to a coffee shop where like dogs are not allowed.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, that's great. Me and my flannel. It's cold out. And I'm like, well, I was like, just what the fuck? Like, that just would have been nice to know. So, like, I could prepare. And then, not only that,
was that your gift?
That was the surprise.
Cute.
I'm like, the surprise would have been you showing up on time.
The dog was the surprise?
Yes. The dog was the surprise, not him showing up on time. That's the surprise I would have wanted. You should have told me about the dog.
You could have brought flowers.
That would have been a great surprise.
That would have been so cute.
Prosecco. A fucking kit
a
to give me
Rolex.
a lobotomy, a Rolex, an art dealer, an iron.
A nice steam press.
Dead ass. Even like Downy wrinkle releaser.
Oh my
God. All the above really would have been a better surprise than that. And not to knock on the dog, but it's just like, it just would have been nice to know so I could prepare. So it wasn't only the dog was not only on a leash, it was on one of those leashes that is wrapped around his waist. So he is hands-free walking this dog into the fucking coffee shop with his wrinkly dinkly ass and that fucking hat. And you know what?
And his Life Alert hanging around his neck.
Piggybacking off of that, I said on the last podcast episode, I can't remember if I put it in, but I went on like this FaceTime date with a guy and he put on a cowboy hat. Enough. And I don't wearing cosplay a character. I don't need you to cosplay as a cowboy or a cab driver. Enough with the pageantry. Show up on time. No surprises. If there is one, make it be flowers. I've had enough.
You know, I will say this. I do have one thing to say about like the hat situation. I think that maybe these men are they're trying to do something about their fashion, you know, and I'll say one nice thing. I can appreciate the effort, but it ain't it. The hats ain't it. Okay. Not those hats.
I will say for the second one, the FaceTime date, he said, so, because I was like flirting with him, I was like, oh my God, I love cowboy, because his family owns a ranch and like has horses. I was like, oh my God, I love a cowboy, just being a little flirty, a little cute.
Yeah.
And he literally said, since you like cowboys so much, and put on a cowboy hat.
Oh no.
I got nothing.
So,
And then I am.
You like cowboys? Here you go, ma'am. Come ride it. That's basically.
All right, I'm gonna start chewing tobacco and spit the tar in your fucking face. Get it, get her.
I gotta milk my horse or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. It didn't make any sense. Oh God, oh brother! I did not grow up on a farm.
No, you didn't have to announce that. We knew. We knew.
I don't think you've ever been to a farm in your entire life.
Have you been around an animal? Like any animal?
Okay, so actually, my family in Rhode Island, they actually do have horses. There was a horse.
They milk. They're not.
Not that I'm aware of. I was trying to
you had morning mug saying, "Do you guys have horse?" Would you like whole almond or coconut horse?
I just was trying to make it go along with the joke and the idea, and it didn't go. But no, they did not milk the horse, and the horse's name was Sugar, and she was very sweet.
So, he has a leash around his waist, so I guess he's hands free. I guess that's very important to him. He's mobile. I thought he would breeze by me because I was by the door, not directly facing the door, but I saw what he was wearing and what was going on over there.
You couldn't leave.
And I kind of did like one of these, like it hit my face, but
like, no.
thinking that he wouldn't see me because I was like,
no,
I was like, my brother in Christ. And I just, and unfortunately, I was spotted.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my God, hi. And he was like, oh, you got coffee already?
Yeah, I've been here for 35 minutes, sir.
That's literally what I said. I was like, yeah, I've been here for 30 minutes. I got coffee. And he was like, I would have gotten you some. Again, you literally weren't here. So
you could have got me some 30 minutes
ago.
He
gets coffee with his dog. And then we go and find a table. Because he was talking at me the entire time. I could not get a word in edgewise. Like I felt like a bobblehead. I was like, yeah. And then when he asked me a question, because of course it turned, and not that politics aren't important, but of course it turned political. And he said like, basically he was like conservative. He doesn't believe in
Republican. Yeah. Well, with that outfit, I'm not surprised.
So
sorry.
Absolutely. I'll say it with my chest. It was because of his outfit. That's what was the dead giveaway. Okay. Stop. Which is fine. I don't want to be on a date with you. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on a date with you. I couldn't even get a word in edgewise. He said trigger warning for miscarriages and abortions. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So he had a story where he was in an emergency department. He had to abort a child. The story didn't make sense to me medically, because the term that this child that he had to abort wasn't viable with life.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an instance with the mother that if this baby, it sounded like her water broke prematurely. When that happens, you can develop an infection. You can become septic. You can die from that. The mother can die from that. The baby I want to say was not even 20 weeks old. So they are not viable with life. Yeah. Very sad.
Yeah.
Very tragic. He said that the baby's hand like touched him when it was happening, which I didn't think that was
our lawyer is like, absolutely not.
He was like, that's why he was pro-life. And I was like, well, the mother would have died without that abortion and the baby wasn't viable with life. He's like, it's just something I can't get behind. So, I was like, and I said, oh, okay, so fuck the mom, right?
Yeah, so
that was the first thing I've said.
So you're pro-life, but the mom can just die.
Yes.
No biggie.
That was the view.
Okay, so what's really I'm stuck on right now is that at 20 weeks, I don't know how much of an actual hand is developed.
I was gonna ask
either.
I'm not sure either. No, listen to me. Listen to me. Give me my mic.
And like I didn't want to sound like dumb, but I was like, do they even have hands?
That's not my specialty, but they are 100% not viable with life because at 24 weeks they develop. This is my very base knowledge of.
From my understanding, and remember, I'm a lawyer, so take this with a grain of salt. But from my understanding, based on the cases that I've handled that are OB related, you don't start to really develop your extremities like to the point where they're like full-fledged hands until like the 3rd trimester.
That's kind of like the base. I wasn't too sure, but that's good evidence. And then you don't develop.
Correct us if we're wrong. My sister is a labor and delivery nurse. And
perfect.
She's a regular listener, so
tell her.
You can
Lindsay,
text me. Tell me,
lawyer sister, can you comment and let us know what that's
tell
correct?
Me if I'm wrong. Thanks.
Yeah.
Also, tell me if I'm wrong if they don't develop surfactant on their lungs until they're 24 weeks. So correct me if I'm wrong. So this fetus, again, tragic. That in itself is a tragic story. But for the mother's life, the baby fetus, I should say fetus, because they're not viable with life. So that was like his stance on pro-life. Again, it didn't make any fucking sense to me. And then at this point, like, you're a man and you're talking at me, and this like this directly could affect me, and you don't give a fuck about my opinion. Basically, you're just like, you keep just talking at me. And then for some reason, this was the real kicker, and how I knew after that I was 100% going to leave the date after the coffee shop was he started talking about the Roman Empire. I wish that was like, oh my God, I thought
why do they do that?
I literally thought that was a meme. I thought that was a meme. Mm-hmm. No, that he really started talking about the Roman Empire. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. And so, of course, he has a dog with him. Oh. And then he's like, well, the dog has to go out. And I'm like, we're out. And so we walk out, and I'm like, I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home. It's cold. I want to see my mom. Thank God she had cancer. Shout out, Maureen. Fuck yeah.
What's up?
My mom loves it when I use her diagnosis to get at us.
Sorry, my mom has cancer. I can't come.
She literally is like, just tell them I have cancer.
I feel that is so Maureen coded.
So real for that. She was like, oh my God, just tell them I have cancer. You got stuff to do.
So did you go on a second date?
No.
Did he ever contact you after this date?
He did. One of the last texts, because I actually saw him the next day, and I was giving him so much shit just for no reason. I was just being really mean to him. And he texted me randomly. He was like, what do you have me as your phone as? And I screenshotted it because I never saved his number. What am I in your phone as? It's your phone number. I don't know who you are. I'm putting a grave. You're in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
I have. I have. I think that's so
their
funny.
contacts. It's just a grave.
That's genius.
And then so it's saved under like that emoji. It's a graveyard. It's great.
I like that.
He's in the graveyard. He's dead to us.
Period.
That's my story for today. Kaleigh, you said you had. I hope you enjoyed it. This podcast episodes all over the fucking place.
It's so funny because it reminds me. Dating in Baltimore is just so hard, and I think some of your
can't relate
listeners did chime in about that. But like really fast story time, since this isn't about me. But
oh wait, here, take mine.
It's so about you.
It really just reminded me of this date I went on. Like
I love that this is a press conference.
It was like. It was like 2 years ago, and I think like I had just dumped my other ex-boyfriend, and so I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna like get back on the horse, like whatever. Let's try getting back on the dating apps, like fine. So I matched with this guy on Hinge, and he said he was like 6 feet tall. He's also a lawyer.
5'6".
And I'm like,
was it a lie? 5'6".
Oh, I'm getting there.
Oh.
Don't you worry.
They're never 6 feet.
Never. And I should have known better. But I was like, okay, like his pictures looked a little outdoorsy. I am always skeptical or like hesitant to date another lawyer because I just feel like I'm the exception and not the rule to like lawyers.
Wait, what? Can you elaborate on that?
I mean, lawyers are just
she's
like
better than everyone else.
Well,
I mean, agreed. Well, obviously, but
they're just like so like uptight and like serious and boring and like competitive. I'm competitive, but like not like in a gross way. And so I was just like, you know what, like fine, we'll go on a date with this guy. So he insists on picking me up, and I'm like, I'm gonna get my money's worth out of this date. Like, not my money's worth, but like I'm gonna benefit from this. And I hadn't been to Azumi in Harbor East yet.
okay.
So I was like, okay, like let's go there. And he's like, okay, yeah, cool. I'll pick you up. So he picks me up in this like fucking BMW. And I'm like,
Automatic red
oh
flag.
God. And I'm like, so I have to like walk out like an exterior, like stairwell to get down to street level. And I'm walking down the stairs and I look at him, like he gets out to like open the door for me. And I'm like, there's no way this man is 6 feet tall. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't be superficial.
For the record, how tall are you?
I'm like 5'8.5".
Okay.
Was he your height, you think?
I was in heels, so I was taller.
Why do men do that?
Yes.
I just want to know. I really want to know.
We just want to know.
Why do you lie about your age?
The truth is gonna come out. Like
Or
my
lie
height
about
was
your
on
age.
there.
I don't give a fuck about age, honestly. I'll date a 50-year-old, no shame.
I did say, I'm just going to segue for a second. I told Caitlin this, that we do need to have a petition for men under 6 feet to not be able to have children.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Hot take. Unless you're with a woman that is at least 5'10". So,
Yeah.
Someone's got to be tall. Like,
we've got to fix
and you
these
have to be a
genetics.
minimum of 5'10" as well.
Also, didn't we talk about
Oh, and the girly pops, if you're under 5'6", I'm so sorry. You cannot date anyone over 5'10".
Stop dating
Stop it.
men that are 6'3" when you're 5'3".
They can't even see you.
Mm-hmm.
He can literally be like, I don't want to see you anymore, and just look in his eye of vision. You idiot. Sorry.
It breaks my heart.
It's a
honestly,
crime.
it just because the shortest girls go for like the tall guys like that for some reason. They love to just take control of the weaker link anyway.
It's such a crime.
So
Okay, so yeah, so I'm just like, oh God. So then I have not talked to this man on the phone before. He opens his mouth to speak, and I swear to God, it sounds like he inhaled a whole entire tank of helium. Like it was so bad. And I just like felt my inside shrivel up like upon impact. I was just like, no.
You should have immediately been like, oh my God, I have the worst nausea just came over me.
I should have.
Do you keep bread in your purse? Me and the lawyer are gluten-free. Keep bread in your and just start farting. Just start farting right in that BMW.
I should have, but I was just like, oh God, okay, I guess I'm going on this date.
Oh my God, Jesus.
And so we get to the date, and apparently his mom is also a lawyer, but he starts.
God, I thought you were gonna say his mom is there.
No,
I was like, oh my God.
No, but it gets better.
Oh.
So his mom's also a lawyer, and he goes on this whole fucking rampage about women lawyers and like, you know, having to take time off of your career to raise kids and, you know.
Oh my God, fuck
like,
those bitches.
Yeah. I was just like,
'em.
I was sitting there like, oh, what? Excuse me, sir? And he's like, he apparently like does work for the corporation that owns Azumi. And he was like, yeah, everyone here knows me. Like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, okay. Like, so you're going to pay for my meal?
You know what, Kermit the Frog? Fucking relax.
So then after dinner, he's just like, oh, like, do you want to go up to the Bygone? And I'd had a few drinks at that point. So I was like, for the plot, I am going to go to the Bygone with this man.
And that's why you're a Baltimore bitch. If you're doing anything for the plot, that makes you an automatic Baltimore bitch.
I'm just like, this story's getting good. I might as well just get a little bit more content before I set him free. So I go to the Bygone with him, and it's been a couple of years, so getting the facts completely straight. Plus, like, I was chugging espresso martinis to make this more palatable.
At that point, imagine being on the date with Kermit the Frog.
Literally,
for a while.
So like, he keeps trying to like put a move on me to kiss me, and I'm just
Did he
like,
want uppies?
No.
Did he want fucking uppies? Uppies? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what a turn
just,
on.
like, skirt.
Well, these dumb bitches out here just want to have fucking kids.
Literally.
Yeah. So
and he's like, the
one.
bartenders here might know me. Like, they might report back. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Report back for what?
Exactly.
A lawyer drinking?
Yeah, and a lawyer on a date. Oh my
it.
God. I have no idea. Like, maybe that he's on a date, that like someone was dumb enough to go on a date with him.
Actually,
I don't know.
maybe.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe.
Period.
Actually, you're probably in that group chat.
So then he like, all of a sudden his phone is blowing up. And I'm like, you want to take that? And he's like, oh no, it's just my grandmother. Like, she's kind of crazy. And I was like, okay. But it was like constant. Like, she's like constantly blowing him up. And I'm like, you really should take that. And he's like, no, I'm
What if
going
someone
to.
died?
Literally.
So then,
Like, she probably has dementia.
So
She needs your
then-
help.
his dad starts trying to blow him up. And he's like, I'm not going to answer that. And I was like, you really should. And so his dad texts him and he's like, hey, your grandmother's like either like having diabetic ketoacidosis or like something to that effect, where she is like extremely ill and they're like heading to her house to like, or heading to the hospital to meet her or something like that. And she, I guess, like couldn't get in touch with the dad or something. So that's why she was blowing him up. But anyway, so he like is having this text conversation with his dad about it. And I was just like, oh my God, like you should go.
Need to go.
Yeah, I was literally like,
we can
okay, like,
close out.
literally, I'm like, I need to go home anyway. Like, I've got like something going on. Like, I've got spin in the morning or something probably. And I was just like,
something.
Like, literally anything. I have anything going on in the
I
morning.
I have
have-
something to do. I don't know what it is.
I think
but
I left-
do have something
I
to
think
do.
I left my oven on. I've really got to go.
Mine.
So he's just like, no, I don't want to go. I'm having too much fun here. And I was like, okay,
what?
well, I've got to go. I've got to go. I've got to end this. And he's just like, but why? We're having so much fun. And I was like,
Your grandmother is dying.
your grandmother's extremely ill and
You've got to
this
go.
is a problem. Like, if it were any of my family members, I'd be like, oh, gotta go. Like, I wouldn't even like.
Grandma's crazy. She'll pull through. She's doing it for the plot. What the
Right.
fuck?
So I was just like, okay, goodbye. And like, I let him drive me home just because I was being cheap. And like, I paid $0 that whole evening and I was going to pay.
I think he
Any-
owed it to you to drive.
He
you
did.
home
He did.
after that catastrophe.
So then like, he tries to text me and I'm just like, listen, man, it's not me. It's
don't
you.
text me. Text your grandmother. Is she okay?
I'm just like,
Texting to follow up on Graham.
this is never going to work out. And
Graham, leave a comment. You good?
like, yeah. So I've since seen him on dating apps and then also like one of those pages about like, are we dating the same guy? And I'm just like,
Oh, what did they say?
oh, steer clear. No one says anything. I don't know if anyone else has actually gone on a
Oh,
date with this guy.
Sorry, I'm like,
But it's just like, that was one of the last dates I went on before I just decided I'd rather die alone.
Yeah.
happily, peacefully.
Like, we're gonna share a nursing home room, so
I
it's gonna
think
be beautiful.
we should go like halfsies on like a beach house or something.
Yo, let's do it.
Yeah, I think we should.
You can come too. You and Charles.
You're invited.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're
So
invited.
that's my story.
That was a great story time. Thank you for sharing. That was really traumatic.
Wow. BBs, you've been blessed with a double story time.
Wow. Wait, don't you have a story?
I have a story, but it's not a story about me or
It's not a
anyone that we know.
personal story.
It's not a personal story.
All right, I'm switching gears.
It
AKA
is-
I'm readjusting.
It is a true crime.
Yeah.
Bless up.
You guys, this Prosecco literally tastes like liquid yeast. It's terrible. I think the grapes came from like the subway in Baltimore. It's so bad.
Oh my
I know
God.
Prosecco, like the grapes grow in Italy in the Prosecco region. No, these grew right in the subway with the
Yeah.
gutter rats, like myself. I can't eat real
Your
bread, so I'll
friends
drink it.
Your friends made it. That's so sweet.
They did. They did.
All right. So I do have a true crime
I'm so stoked.
story for you.
I'm so stoked.
it is not, unfortunately, this one is not a Baltimore story.
Okay.
It was just fresh on my mind. I listened to this podcast called Murder with My Husband. They're also on YouTube. They're amazing. I subscribe to their Patreon. I love them. They cover the story and it just stuck with me.
Mhm.
And we were talking about this earlier because there are some legalities to it, which is
Oh,
also why our
okay.
lawyer is here.
Oh, love.
Yes.
Love.
So I'm going to tell you a story.
Okay.
We're jumping way back into like the 1960s.
Oh, okay.
I think this either happened in 1967 or he was born in 1967. I don't know. But we're going to follow happened in 1967. Okay. So 1967, we're following along this beautiful family called the Wolcott family.
Okay.
Okay. The Wolcott family consists of the mother, Elizabeth, the father, Mr. Wolcott. Don't know his name. Unfortunately, I did not write his name down, and that is okay. The sister, Libby, she is 17, and James, and he is 15.
Where is this taking place?
This is taking place in Georgetown, Texas.
Oh, okay.
So Georgetown, but not in the DMV.
But I love it. Okay, so I haven't heard this.
Yes.
I'm excited.
So it's a pretty small town. I think it's like 5,000 people or so. Pretty normal, like rural place. It's nothing too exciting to note. Basically, James' father is a professor. He's very smart. His mom's a stay-at-home mom. I believe his sister was going to be like the valedictorian. And James is also very, very smart. He was a peace activist. He got good grades. He wanted to go, he was wearing like anti-Vietnam war buttons. He wanted to attend peace marches, like all of these things. Yeah. Okay. So one night, I believe it was August 5th, 1967, James goes running out of his house and starts flagging down anyone that he can flag down. So these people stop, someone drives by, and James is frantically like, someone killed my family is dead.
Okay.
And so these people are like, oh my God, like what's going on? They go to the house, they go inside, they check out everything.
This is so 60s. Was 911 even a thing?
You know, I don't know when 911 became a thing.
But I think it's like,
when did 911 Hold on, I'll Google it. The first 911 call was made in Haley'sville, Alabama on February 16th, 1968.
Okay.
However, it wasn't until 1999 that Congress made 911 the national emergency number for the United States.
So 911 really wasn't a thing. So that makes sense for him to like flag down people. And they're like,
he's like, help.
Literally anyone.
Help.
Could you imagine? Oh my God.
No. So he's like, help, please, anyone help. So they come in, they go inside. His family was indeed slain. Dad shot twice in the chest. Sister upstairs shot once in the chest, once in the head.
Oh.
And his mom shot twice in the head and is still clinging to life.
Oh no.
So they come out, they tell him, they're like, yes, like, all of, your family is dead, but your mom is like, she's still alive. Like, we need to call, like, we need to get help. And James is like, how could this happen? How did this happen? Like, and he's freaking out. They all go to the hospital. He is so freaking the fuck out. They give him benzos at the hospital and he's just like out of it.
Yeah, I would. So my guess, correct me if I'm wrong, did he come home and he found everyone dead?
I'm going to get there.
Oh, put it on ice.
Yes, put it on ice. So they end up giving him benzos. A nurse comes out later and she confirms, your mother died. She didn't pull through.
Jesus.
And he goes, okay, thanks.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not the reaction.
Yes. So,
or was he still on benzos?
He's still on benzos.
Okay. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
So, yeah. So he goes, okay.
Okay, thanks. That's awesome. Great.
And so the Texas Rangers and the police, like, they take him back and they're like, we need to talk to you because we need to figure out what is going on.
We need to confirm if you're just a chill guy or if you're a murder guy.
So they're talking to him. He tells them that he was in fact sniffing glue earlier that evening. And that he was very like out of it. He was like high. He was high. He was saying all these thoughts. They straight up ask him, they're like, James, did you kill your family? Yeah. And he goes, yes.
Oh, okay.
He said, yeah, I did.
Which honestly, at first I was like, of course he did. Because it sounds like it was a very rural area.
Yep.
Who else is going to come in and just walk in and just slaying your whole family?
Yep. So he had a .22 rifle, goes in, shoots his dad, goes up, shoots his sister. His sister's screaming because she heard the gun. Then goes and shoots his mom and then tucks away the gun and then goes outside.
And I'm wondering, I guess that's why he was freaking out, because his mom was going to live.
Yes.
or he thought.
Yes.
And then,
so he's telling them, he is basically just saying, you know, that he really doesn't like his family. His father like made him cut his hair. His father didn't let him attend peace rallies. His mom chewed too loudly, and his sister had a really annoying accent. And
I would also kill someone who
he
chews too loudly.
he said that he was contemplating suicide, but his family was driving him nuts. So he decided to kill them first. But yeah, he says like he's been thinking about it for a week.
Just
or
killing
so.
his family?
Yes. And he like had continued to do like sniffing glue, and he just did it again that night. And he was like, it's time. So I guess, and I don't know how factual this is, but I guess it just gives you like anxiety. You kind of get like a drunken daze, like dizzy. I don't know how much else it
It's
causes.
more like a downer.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean,
which is also interesting if it's a downer, because you hear like people, you know, getting high on like cocaine or like PCP, and they go off and do these like horrific things.
Yeah. So he admits that he did that, and yeah, so he obviously is arrested.
Yeah.
He goes through, he meets a psychiatrist. They confirm that his IQ is 134. This man is smart. I mean,
it's always like the extreme. I think it's like the intelligence drives you insane.
That's
almost.
Yes. So he has an IQ of 134, and they also say that he is a paranoid schizophrenic.
That makes sense.
So despite having, he has no family history of this, no other illnesses, medical, nothing. So when they go to trial, his defense attorney uses this, and they say
that he's insane.
He's clinically insane.
Right.
So they undergo the trial. I don't have too many details about the trial, but they come back. They find him not guilty by reason of insanity. So
Oh, sorry.
What?
No,
go.
Oh, okay. Can you correct me if I'm wrong? So if you're not guilty by reasons of insanity, do you have to be like completely checked out in that moment to like, can you like delve more into that? Because I feel like that's kind of a cop out, because he knew what he did and he knew what he was doing.
I was a criminology and criminal justice major in undergrad. Obviously went to law school, did the criminal law, criminal procedure classes, but my main focus is on the civil side of things. So just a little disclaimer. But the history of the death penalty and laws, or not death penalty, I'm sorry, the insanity plea and the laws surrounding it have changed over the years. So in 1967, when this was going on, it's likely different. Nowadays, it's a very stringent standard.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to be able to prove that this person was so mentally ill that they could not tell the difference between right and wrong.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's the test, whether you knew the difference between right and wrong. So this guy arguably should not have been found guilty or not guilty by reason of insanity, because as evidenced by him hiding the gun, and doing several other things, he knew that what he was doing was wrong.
Yep.
Right.
And I read some things that this was even premeditated. He had come up with a plan to kill them a week before. So all of that to say, nowadays, that would not fly in the courts. But he was tried back in 1967. Yep. Another interesting legal point, just to hit very fast, is that this is the first case in Texas where a 16-year-old was treated or tried as an adult at trial.
That's crazy.
So, yes. So, I mean, that's definitely kind of important to note too, just because I think sympathies could still be in play there, because it wasn't as normal of a situation.
Yeah, that makes sense, because he is 15 when this happens, 16 when they go to trial. They're trying him as an adult. They clearly look at him and they're like, you're a teenager and you have this mental illness. You have a mental illness, but it's not really driving you to do these things. Like you said, it was premeditated. He had been thinking about it for a week before, maybe even longer than that he was thinking about it. But And to your point too, he takes the gun, he hides the gun, he knows that he has done something that he should not have done. He reacts in a way of saying, how could this happen? How is she still alive?
Yeah.
I shot her in the head twice. Like, what's going on? So he was then transferred after he's found not guilty. They transfer him to Rusk State Hospital, where he stays for an extended amount of time. Fast forward 7 years after he goes to Rusk State Hospital.
Okay.
He is released from the mental hospital and declared sane.
Oh,
declared.
That's okay. So we're like 1972. I want to say,
1975, 76,
depending on like when the trial happened. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, that's a choice.
And
that's a choice.
We were talking about this with our friend too, and she was like, well, how can he be sane now? Like, what about because they basically threw out he can't be tried again.
Yeah.
Once you're tried and you're found not guilty or guilty, whatever, but in this case, he's found not guilty, there's nothing you can do. The case has already been tried.
Oh, no.
You cannot be retried.
So he's going to offend again, is what I'm seeing.
So it's also interesting from what I've read, that he was only tried for his dad's murder.
Oh.
Yes. So he was only that initial trial where he was found guilty by reason of, or not guilty by reason of insanity. That was only for the murder of his father. There were still 2 counts against him, or, 2 different murder charges for his mother and his sister. They did not proceed with them.
I wonder if that's because they were women.
Is
that fucked up to say?
I don't know that would be it. I think, honestly, I mean, it was an old boys club back at that time.
Yeah.
But I don't think the fact that the victims were women was really the thing. No. I think that maybe the old boys club was like, you know what? He's already been found not guilty by reason of insanity at that time. Mm-hmm. At the time that the crime was committed, they had already decided that he was not sane. That is a hard uphill battle to kind of go against. And if there's not enough evidence that like the psychosis, was resolved, then
that's what I was going to say. Is it's not uncommon for, normally they will do, and in times now they usually do try. So you would be tried for your father, your mother, and your sister. But because he had this mental illness, they were probably just like, let's try to get one. We probably won't get all 3.
I see. Okay.
And, depending on what evidence was found, if it is more likely, like we know, like we have everything laid out right here, like for this one, let's go for this. That's our best.
Oh, that's
shot.
true. Actually, they would do that today. Yeah. Too. They do that today. Okay.
Shot. We're going to go for that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yes.
Me being a feminist. It's because they're fucking women. I know it.
So
is it because they're women?
Sorry.
You would think. Maybe if it was a little bit earlier, but
maybe if the witch trials.
Yeah. So he gets out, he's declared sane, and then he moves to Austin, Texas.
Awesome.
And he goes to get his bachelor's in psychology.
Awesome.
Then he goes to get his master's.
We're so fucked. Okay. We're so fucked here.
And then he changes his name. So
great.
He's no longer James Gordon Wolcott. He is now, you're going to love this.
Fuck. Is it Leo?
James St. James.
James St. James.
Yes.
I bet he wears one of those fucking hats too.
He probably does wear a hat. So James St. James then moves to Illinois and he becomes a professor at Millikan University, where he is still employed to this day.
Doesn't that... Wait, hold on. Okay, what? First of all... So doesn't that make you question whether he was even paranoid schizophrenic? How can you fucking... Right? How can you go on to get your bachelor's, your master's, and in psychology and become a professor? Like, have a pretty good job. He's there to this day.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
The legal system completely fumbled the bag on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, this was easily a fumble. I mean, one of the purposes of the justice system is rehabilitation, but they didn't even rehabilitate this guy. Like,
so I have questions.
This is crazy.
What do you think about his rehabilitation? Like, do you think that he goes into this mental institution for 7 years and he comes out clean and he's good? Like, do we think that this is a model for perps like him?
No. So I mean, yes and no. I do believe in the rehabilitation model. But going back into context, we are now looking at a psychiatric institution in the 1970s where evidence-based practices are not being used, where, it's rubber padded rooms and restraints. Like what we think of as psychiatric care today, the grippy sock vacation is not the same thing that he was experiencing back then. I don't think that there's anything truly rehabilitative about what he experienced. I truly think this is just a case of fumbling, and the good old boy system of back in the day. Rehabilitation does work, but not that quickly. But
do you think that someone like him could change potentially, or
absolutely. And for the record, he has not committed any more crimes since then. So, yes, people can change, but was the thing that facilitated that the psychiatric hospital? Likely not.
Yeah. And do you think he was justified in killing his family for being annoying to him?
No.
Not even the loud chewing.
Well, no.
Okay, no, that's an awful crime, but it does make me wonder what was actually going on there. Was there abuse of any kind? Like, because
nothing that I saw or that I heard from the story that I listened to either.
Because first of all, you don't jump from point A to point B and like just slay your whole family. And then also he
They were annoying.
didn't.
Sorry.
You don't jump, and then he didn't. The shocker is he didn't offend again.
So let's look at this.
Oh, that thing doesn't work anymore anyway.
Let's look at this from a kind of historic context kind of standpoint. And this was back during the 60s, 70s, the peace movement, all of that. Everything said that James was involved in the peace movement. Those people were hardcore. I mean, they were riding for this cause so hard, and his parents didn't support the cause. Yep. But again, we're only hearing one side of this story, and we will only ever know his side of the story. But I think that so a young kid, mob mentality around, all of this with the peace movement and all of that. And he sees his parents not aligning with those values. It could push a kid to do that kind of thing.
He has no frontal lobes.
No, exactly.
Sniffing glue,
So I think from a historic context, I mean, that could be it, just because that was such a wild time and people really were sipping the Kool-Aid and,
But also my thing too, and I was saying this to Charles that I think is really interesting because I just said his frontal lobe's not developed, but he's very smart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had 134 IQ. And I pointed this out to him. We just had a discussion about it. And I was like, it's crazy because obviously not all, but I feel like it is very common that there are criminals or people that commit these heinous, disgusting crimes. And they're so incredibly smart.
Intelligence doesn't necessarily equate to emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
And I think that might be a critical piece of that.
Okay.
Do you think, so with that being said, you think he can kind of, he did it, he was able to do it just that one time because it had a purpose of kind of your theory along the lines of they're not supporting this cause, let's take him out. Mm-hmm. And so he was just, I guess maybe compartmentalize in a way of this is the task was done, we're going to move on.
Yeah, that, and then, his prefrontal cortex developed depending on, it sounds like someone took him in after his release from the psychiatric hospital. So depending what type of nurturing and support he was given by whomever took him in, that could also play a role. If he's going into this supportive place where people are helping him grow and, all of those things, yeah, it really could be this thing where it was like, yeah, like I made this really crazy rash decision when I was 15. And I shouldn't have done that. And, you know, whatever. And I've learned from these people in my psychology classes and all of this how not to reoffend. You know, it's definitely possible.
I do think it's really interesting that that's the route of education that he went, was psychology. That he was like, I want to learn this.
Yeah.
And maybe that is, you know, maybe he did see what he did was wrong. I mean, I hope obviously that he did. And he was like, I need to learn about this and like what made me do this, like where this came from. I don't know.
I think like what I struggle with is how he even got there in the first place, but I think it's because he is so smart. It's like he didn't really have an emotional IQ because of how you can even just go up to somebody and shoot them.
Yeah.
Not once, not twice, but 3 times. His father once in the chest and twice in the head, I think.
No,
he
his
said.
father was twice in the chest.
Mhm.
He shot everyone twice.
Okay.
So his father was twice, his sister was twice, one in the chest, one in the head, and his mother was twice in the head.
And maybe there isn't abuse there. I feel like it would have been more intimate, more violent, maybe if there was like abuse there. But it was just like it was a task in his mind, maybe. I just think that that's like so. I think it's crazy that A, that even happened, and B, that he never reoffended that we know of.
Because normally what I've heard from a lot of cases is when it is something that is very like emotional and very personal, it's usually like it's much more like horrific and brutal.
Yeah.
And also they tend to like cover them or like do something, and that wasn't the case for any of these.
It was literally just 2 shots,
like,
and it could have been like far range as well, like not up close you know.
Yeah.
But
so yeah,
wow.
That's the story of James St. James.
What the fuck? That was a little fucked up story. Yeah. I was into it. Let us know if you're like into that kind of thing. I do like a crew. A crew. I love a crew. We do have a crew today.
We do.
I love a true crime story. Let us know if you want more stories. I'd love to do more true crime, honestly.
Yeah,
I do. I love true crime.
I am in the true crime world all the time. So
same.
I'm here for it.
And I do love telling a story, especially if it's not BBs, please do not make me go back into the dating world. For more stories, please don't. If anybody wants to send in a dating story, I would love to read it. Yes. If I have any more that pop up, I would love to tell you.
Yep.
But to be back on Hinge, I think would destroy me from the inside out. Thank you.
I don't have any like horror dating stories, but I do have stories of shenanigans that I went on in Jackson.
Yeah, I love a shenan story. Yeah. I love it. Do you have any final thoughts?
No.
Awesome.
Just happy to be here.
Just happy to be here.
I'm just so happy to be here. I was, one of the 2 fans that was always tuning in, and now I get to hear myself yap. So thank you.
Oh my god! Imagine all of our fans just come on the pod. Honestly, fuck it. Fuck it. If you want to come on the pod, let us know. I'll have you over.
Yeah, we'll get another mic.
Yeah, well, fuck it. Let's do it. Anyway, you have any final thoughts?
I don't. Let us know, if you liked this, if you want more of like a mix like this. We're happy to do whatever you want us to do.
And we are, honestly, I looked at the YouTube video that Kaleigh is editing. It's really exciting. So that is coming soon. Promise. Fingers crossed.
The first one might be up by the time this airs. It probably will.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
We're learning. Yeah. I don't have any final thoughts. I can't wait for Love is Blind to be over. We'll report back after the reunion. Yeah, babies, let us know what you want to hear. Maybe we can do another true crime story, and then, or if you want to hear another celeb deep dive, I would love to do Lamar Odom, honestly, and Khloe Kardashian. You hate the Kardashians, so to watch you squirm the whole time would be great.
I can do it.
You have to. You're part of the show.
You'll say it, and then I'll have all the research
done. That. I gotta go. We gotta go. Okay, bye, babies. Gotta go. Follow us.
Wait, like, subscribe. You do it. You say.
Oh, BBs, like and subscribe. YouTube will be up. Give us 5 stars on Spotify, even though you hate us, or if you hate us, if you don't, keep listening. We love you so much. Send in those suggestions.
_BB podcast.
She got it. We're out. Over and out, BBs. Love you so much.
Bye.
Do you want to say bye? Bye.